I did a video on the state of battery health and battery certificates, stating that it will be the end of used EV sales once they get to B. You know, it will be a no-brainer. One of my subscribers emailed me to say, why don't you check the A's just to see how bad the A's are? Because you've done the B's, and then we look down the B's. Well, fair enough. To be honest, I don't know why I didn't think of it. So, I've had this great idea. What I'm going to do today, I checked the B's the other day. I'm going to check the A's today. But I've got to warn you, while I was checking the A's, I came across something today that just made me despair. I absolutely fear for people in the car trade, and I'm just waiting to wake up one morning and see a headline: auction decimated, garage decimated, you know, people killed. Because if you've ever been to an auction, I mean, I've not been to an auction for years, but there's people there with, like, you know, used to be shell suits. They used to have shell suits on, with a wife pushing a kid on the dole, buying cars and selling them from home. You know, a real car trader. You know, those that I used to be in the game. It's not a fucking game. Trust me, the car job is not a game. Anybody who says I used to be in the car game, tossers. So all these people that are in the game now, that go to auctions and wander around cars where there's so much room between the things, there's a flipping big, you know, everybody's up at the top, everybody's sat in the ring, some of them right up at the top drinking the coffee and so on. If a EV comes through and starts to go up at the bottom, you've got two exits at the side. You've got to get to that exit while it's firing rockets at you, and there's flamethrowers coming out the side. Honestly, it's only a matter of time. Oh, that's near now. That won't happen. I've done another video. In India, they're segregating EVs from ICE cars. Segregation for cars. Whatever next? You know, what are EVs going to do to us? Stick with me to the end. I'm only going to do a couple of these because I don't want the video to be too long today, and I've got such a lot to cover. So here we go. What I'll do, we're on electric vehicles. Nobody's going to buy a car without a battery test these days, really. Battery report. So we want report available. Let me just see how many that wipes out. How many's in the search? So there you go. Look, in the auction, there are 932 EVs, 44 LCVs. We go down to battery grade. We click on battery grade, report available. And then we go back up. There's only 477 EVs and 6 LCVs. So we'll go to A's. I mean, that one there. I'm going to go to mileage low to high. Hardly any miles. People swapping them, getting rid of them for some reason. I've no idea what the reason would be. And I wouldn't dare to speculate. But there you go. That one, Nissan Leaf. That's A. It's done 7,500 miles. That's down to 97. That one, NG, that's down to 97 as well, at 7,000 miles. 95, 7,800 miles. 96 for a Tesla at 8,100 miles. I'm thinking VW product is pretty good, but here we go. We're getting towards the 10,000 mile mark with Renault Zoe's. 96. So it's lost 4% in 8,000 miles. Nissan Leaf. That's done 99. So it's looking like it could well be how the battery has been managed in the first, well, that's a 73. So by the first owner, how it's been managed by the first owner. Now we're getting towards the 10,000 mile, 96 for a Volvo, 95 for an MG. And we all hear how good these MG batteries are and, you know, last to 150,000 miles. This one's only done 9,000 miles and it's down to 95. I've got a feeling we're going to start coming on to, 99, wrong again. Baz, not often you're right, but you're wrong again. Another Tesla, 9,500 miles, 97. Tesla, 94. So that's 94 on their test. 9,700 miles, 94. Now we're getting over the 10,000 mile mark. Vauxhall Corsa, 93. State of health, actually from the car, 91.5. It's nearly a B at 10,000 miles. This Fiat will have been sat around for ages, 96. Let's just see the actual report. When we go down the car state of health, 94.9. That says 96. So there's a discrepancy. I think people go on about legacy vehicles, but I think they tend to be better, and I think the batteries tend to be better too. Audi Q4, 99. Yep. Volvo, 100. You can't beat the prop ones, can you? You can't beat the legacy vehicles that our British motor trade press slag off and put forward Chinese vehicles at every opportunity. Another one, 10,000, well, 95. 2023-23, that's at 95. That's showing 96.5 on the actual. There's been a thing in the news about Tesla mileometers speeding up to put people out of warranty quicker. Who knows? Class action in America, I think, might be Canada, I'm not sure. So there you go. So this BCA's test says 95, but the car's saying 96. Kia Niro, we know somebody with a Kia Niro, don't we? Who 100, oh, I'll let her off. Now then, so let me just see. Kia Niro here, 2022-22 plate, 11,056 miles. The battery test, 100 out of 100. We'll view the report, the Avilu report, and then 100. So all good there. 100 out of 100. Do you feel lucky? That's 150 kilowatt. That's 150 kilowatt. That's a 2. This is a 3. This has done 11,433 miles. But look at this. Sat in the auction. Battery condition X. In the auction, battery condition X. We'll click on it. X below 50, vehicle score 0. Avilu score. Warning, analysis of cell voltages and module temperatures failed. For details, see page 2. High cell spread detected. This indicates a defective or heavily unbalanced cell. It's in the auction, parked next to, no doubt, hundreds of cars. What it means. One or more cells have a much higher or lower voltage than the others. This could indicate a defective cell, damaged, degraded or failing. heavy imbalance caused by poor balancing between cells over time, possible overcharging or deep discharging of one or more cells, thermal runaway risk if left unchecked. Why it's dangerous. The weakest cell limits the performance of the whole battery. Now, I didn't know that. If one cell reaches over voltage or under voltage before the others, the BMS may shut down the system to prevent damage. Persistent imbalance can cause excess heat generation, risking thermal runaway or even fire in extreme cases. The overall capacity and range of the EV can be severely reduced. It's in a fucking auction. Equally, it could have been in a dealer's. I mean, where's it come from? Alphabet. There's no notes there. No additional information. They haven't even got the sense to pull the vehicle from the auction. Send it back to where it's come from. Put it in a place where it can't blow up until they find out the problem. May well be a false reading. Would you bet your life on it? Would you park that vehicle in your garage at night and then go to sleep with your family? Tuck your kids in, integral garage, junior's bed, bunk beds, EV downstairs charging in the integral garage. Overnight charging, because it's cheaper overnight. Now the next thing I suggest is that they should ban overnight charging. You should have a special rate for EVs, and it should be during the hours of daylight when you're actually awake and you know whether it's setting on fire and you can get your family out. Makes sense to me, but what do I know? I'm not an EV shill. I don't profess that electric vehicles don't catch fire as often as petrol or diesels. Just one guy's opinion. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.